Hey Nick, you got this nice sign in your yard.
Yeah.
But you also have a hump of dirt.
Yes, I do.
What happened? Moles big this year?
Yes, a little bit. We actually had our sewage line replaced, which is a very common theme in Broad Ripple. All the clay pipes are deteriorating.
Yep.
And this was done almost 2 years ago.
Yeah. 2 years it's been sitting here.
Yep. Unfortunately, the contractors that did it didn't remove any dirt as they were relaying the pipes and gravel.
So
and
they
stuff.
put new pipe in, and then they brought in some rock to lay on top of that pipe and around that pipe, and they still just left all the dirt here.
Yep.
We've actually done this several times. In some neighborhoods you can see every house.
Yeah.
It's like they just came through and did them all at the same time.
That's one of the funs of walking Broad Ripple, is seeing who got their yard ripped up now.
Okay. And you're a software engineer.
Yep.
Like I was for all those years. Maybe someday you'll get a tractor and want to work outside. You never know. And you found us on YouTube.
Yes, I did. Yep. Learning how to actually drive one of these because I was considering doing it myself, but decided I probably shouldn't destroy the home before we sell it.
Let's get started.
All right.
King of the Mountain.
Yeah, that's quite a hump.
We have a new toy today, and I'm excited about trying it out. So we're using this power rake here from Work Saver, worksaver.com. There's a bunch of local Work Saver dealers you could get this. This particular power rake is a little bit too heavy for the 1025R, but other than that, the 1025R handles it fine, as you've seen already. It can dig right in, especially on this. Well, this soil hasn't been moved for 2 years, but it still seems relatively soft. I think it's decent soil. I'm a little surprised there's not grass and weeds growing all over it.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it's plenty good soil to grow something in here. We're going to move most of this soil toward the street because we're concerned that if we don't, we'll end up with water running toward the house. We don't want that to happen, so we're going to try to pull most of this soil toward the street. It looks like it's not going to take very long to do the, I would call it the gross or the big part of the moving. And then we'll work on leveling it out a little more detail as we go. Once in a while you might hear the power rake like hit something really hard. Well, that's a root. There's a root sticking up along these trees here.
Oh.
So I don't think it will hurt to bury those roots out there. We'll try to be a little careful next to this tree, but it's a lot lower right around here than it is up where this pile of dirt is. So that's what we're gonna do. We've got the summit-hydraulics.com/TTWT. We've got the diverter solution to run rear hydraulics here. You can also go to discounthydraulics.com/TTWT. Use code TTWT at either of those places for 5% off. But the Discount Hydraulics just has hoses that can run from the front SCVs or mid SCVs to the rear. That's the cheapest way. This diverter solution is the next most powerful way or flexible way. We have a third solution coming. Stay tuned. Okay, I'm gonna get back to work. A power rake is pretty expensive when you compare it to other three-point hitch attachments for subcompact tractors. At first I thought this might be because they sell less of these than they do tillers, for example. But when I brought up the topic with the owner of Work Saver, he was able to explain that drum filled with carbide teeth is the largest part of the cost. While it's more expensive than a tiller, it's a lot more flexible. I'll explain a little bit more as the video proceeds. What I'm noticing is I could pull this out with the bucket, and maybe I should. Maybe it'd be a little bit faster, but this works like a tiller. It also will help to separate any rocks that we have. It's doing a fabulous job. I'll have to use the bucket right next to the house unless I pick up those gauge wheels, and I probably will just use the bucket and maybe right around the tree there a little bit. But other than that, I think we can use the power rake.
like that you can move it, angle it. Nick has an open house here tomorrow, so hopefully we can get all this done for him.
Christy, we've got another tool that we call the soil pulverizer, but this thing is the soil pulverizer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what makes it nice, is it's just pulverized here. I think when we get closer, we can have this, we can use rakes and stuff to do some final leveling, because it's going to be so soft and fluffy. Still got a pile by that tree I think I need to work with, and I think this may still be like an inch or two high here. Got a little trouble because I got the canopy on. I've been worried about that canopy. I like that I can leave it on when we travel, but I can't really fold the ROPS down with it because the way it's permanently mounted and everything. So I think I'll take the tooth bar off and back drag a little bit of that.
Okay.
And then I'm probably gonna have to get the shovel. I hate that.
Yeah, the tooth bar is great when the soil isn't this fine.
The tooth bar is just not really needed when the soil's soft like this.
Yeah.
I find this tooth bar really easy to detach, and then I get a little better job of back dragging, and you can use the edge of the bucket when you don't need the shear digging power. But that's what I like, is you can have it both ways.
Yeah.
Right.
And for those who haven't seen it before, it's only, what, 70 pounds?
56 pounds, I think.
Oh.
It's got these little set screws here, and I just carry an Allen wrench with it. I also keep these lubricated pretty well so that when I need to, put them on or take them off, they're pretty well lubed. Once in a while the dirt, well actually a lot of times the dirt fills up in there, and so I carry a small screwdriver to dig that out. Now, if I didn't have this new power rake, I would have done this job with the tiller. I'd have brought the tiller and the front bucket here, and that would be my two weapons that I would use. Worked fine on this project. There are a lot of projects the power rake would work better on, but in this case, the tiller would have worked fine as well. I think I'm going to go around this big tree here and push it forward a little bit so I can kind of loosen it, dig under it just a little bit. Yeah, I want just a little bit of dirt down there in front anyway, because it seems like there's a little bit of a hole. Now, you don't want to push forward like that into hard soil if you've got your bucket way down like this. That's how you destroy it. But if you can keep your bucket up like that, to where you're pushing more forward than downward, you're not going to tear up those cylinders. The power top link really helps a lot with this power rake. I mentioned that a power rake is more flexible than a tiller for a grading project like this. Let me explain a little bit further. First, you can deal with wetter soil conditions. A lot of homeowners want to do their grading work in early spring. They want to get that done and they want to plant some seed. This is when they have it on their mind. Even if it is a little bit better to plant seed in the fall, this is when the homeowners are thinking it should be done. In the spring, that's when they're excited about their yards. Since a tiller doesn't work well in wet conditions, I've had to defer these projects later and later in the season until the customer gets frustrated that I haven't got it done. The second area of flexibility is dealing with rocks and roots and other trash. Tiller doesn't like it at all, but the power rake just kicks them right out there and separates them so that we can get them out of the yard. One last advantage specifically for grading is that it doesn't dig as deep and doesn't fluff the soil quite as much, so it's easier to do the final grading. Well, Christy, it's time for me to take a break and you to get your rake and shovel out and see what we can do.
Oh yeah, I'll run after that. I'm enjoying watching you work.
Yeah, well, at least it's shady and nice out here. I'm just going to keep going right on across here. Is that looking good enough up there?
Yeah, that's looking great.
That's kind of what I'm thinking about, leaving it like that. Actually, I think it's ready to seed now.
Cool.
And the weather, the way it's been, I think you can seed now too.
Awesome.
You'll just want to keep it watered. Yeah, I think this turned out really well. It seemed like a big pile of dirt, but it really, once I started spreading it, it didn't change the elevation very much.
Yeah, no, it looks really good.
Oh, here it was. That power rake separates out even those little rocks.
Oh, cool.
That's amazing. Nick, I appreciate you inviting us out today.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming out so quickly. It's looking really good.
Yeah, this went really easily. The soil is better quality soil than what I expected. A lot of times when they dig up soil, it's bad clay.
Okay.
This looks like it'll grow grass fabulous. It looks like topsoil to me.
Cool.
Maybe you can get this sprouted in a week or two, get it growing and get this house sold and move on.
Yeah, that'd be great.
The rest of your life. Anyway, thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
And thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.